Thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to seeing all of you, a lot of you in person at Raleigh Country Club very soon, either to play or to watch the tournament. But we wanted to hold this virtual briefing just to make it easy for everyone to connect. We got Coach calling in from Charleston. We got players calling in from other places. We appreciate you. Few ground rules. We'll just keep everybody muted until we open things up for questions. We will record this and send it out afterwards if you need it. And as always, if there's anything that we don't cover, just let me know and we can set something up later on. My first questions are for Tournament Director Brian Crusoe. Brian, last year's UNCL Championship was a big success with the new name, the new location at Raleigh Country Club. What should fans look forward to this year?
Yeah, thank you, Alan, and thank you all for being with us. Last year was a big change for us and ended up being a big success from feedback from players, the fans, sponsors. They all love the new venue here at Raleigh Country Club, and this year we're not changing a lot, but we want to build on that momentum and continue to have an event that's convenient for people to get to, that's affordable, that's welcoming. We're only a couple miles from downtown. We've got free parking at Walnut Creek Amphitheater. It's only like a mile away. Free Uber drop right at the main entrance, so it's very easy to get here. And once people are here, we want it to be affordable. This is an event we've always wanted to be affordable for everyone in our city to enjoy. It's only $20 a day for tickets. Kids 15 and under are free. Our concessions partners, Empire Eats and Two Roosters, they keep things reasonable for people to have a great time when they're here and not break the bank. We've got a lot of great places on the course to watch golf or to just hang out with family and friends. We've got 3 public venues that are bleachers on 3 greens, including the 18th hole, which is the Hurricanes bleacher. Those are all free to get into. We've got an R&D beer garden on the 15th hole where people can get out of the sun and enjoy a refreshment there while they're watching golf. And a really nice tent on the 17th hole, right on the 17th green, the Tito Stillhouse, which is a big covered tent, open to the public, free to get into. So there's a lot happening throughout the week, whether you're a golf enthusiast or just looking for somewhere to come hang out with your family and friends. You can do that. You can do that here at Raleigh Country Club.
Fantastic. We're sandwiched between the Wells Fargo Championship this week in Charlotte, U.S. Open in Pinehurst in June. What's the big draw for our tournament?
Sure. Well, yeah, those are obviously massive events with the top players in the world competing, and that's really exciting for North Carolina to have those events. I'll be watching them, but we want to make sure people don't forget that we've got a really amazing big time professional event right here in downtown Raleigh. So people would be able to see 156 world-class professionals that they may not know their names, all of them now, but they're on their way up to playing those big events like the Charlotte event and the US Open. So I remind people that Scottie Scheffler played here in our tournament not that long ago, and now he's the #1 player in the world. So it's a chance to see these guys up close and personal, see a lot of action before they make it to the PGA Tour. You won't be fighting 50,000 people here to watch golf. We have great crowds and a lot of energy, but you're able to move around this course, get up close, and watch a lot of really fantastic players. And the last thing is, this is a Donald Ross design here at Raleigh Country Club. So when people are talking about the U.S. Open, this is the last course that Donald Ross designed, and it's a great preview for the U.S. Open. It's challenging. It's got a lot of the features that Pinehurst #2 has. So this is a chance to watch professional golf on the Donald Ross course in an exciting atmosphere that maybe is slightly less hectic than one of these massive events, a bit more of an intimate setting here, but still big time professional golf and a lot of fun to come out and enjoy.
Fantastic. I'd like to ask just a couple questions of Coach Roy Williams, obviously legendary basketball coach, and you've agreed to be the honorary chair of this year's tournament. What made you want to get involved, and what does it mean for you to be serving as the honorary chair?
Well, I love it. Well, usually the best thing about it is they don't ask me to do very many things except talk, and so I don't have to display much ability of anything. But you got three or four things here that Brian brought up. Some of those things too. For me, UNC Hospitals, it's a sponsor, and I think being able to get some things in our state. I've always thought we had the best hospitals anywhere around, and everything that we can do is going to be helping us. To have a children's hospital, a freestanding pediatric children's hospital, I think is something that is extremely important for our state. I love UNC hospitals and so many things that they've done for me and friends and for our entire state. I love golf. I love going and seeing the younger guys and trying to pick out who I think is going to be on TV on Sunday afternoon at Augusta down the road. Um, I think the state of North Carolina to me is one of the golf capitals of the world. Raleigh Country Club. I've played there before 100 years ago. I can't remember how bad I beat John Clockerty, but I remember I beat him a lot. So it still has good memories for there. But I think for me, it's exciting to be involved. When you retire, it's not who I've got to call every night, which recruit I've got to do, and all this. So events like this are something that are really important to me, and I love kids. Even going back to all the time of the North Carolina or Kansas basketball camps, it was always fun seeing those youngsters come through there and seeing them again 4 and 5 and 6 years later. And I can remember Justin Jackson that played for us on our 2017 national championship team. I had a picture of him when he first came to camp, and I was taller than he was. And that's the way I look at these kind of things with the golfers too. And David and Ryan and some of the guys that are going to be playing are going to be our stars of tomorrow.
You've played in past pro-ams at the Rex Hospital Open. What are you looking forward to in terms of that? And what are you going to say to your friends that might want to come out to see the tournament this year? What are you going to do to encourage them?
Well, the same kind of thing. I think you can. You can go back and see people that played in these events later on, and now you're watching them on TV. You're not getting to stand 10 feet away from them hitting a shot like you may be able to do there in Raleigh. And for me, the first day of the event, I enjoy the competition. I enjoy being paired with somebody that eventually may be one of those guys that is on the top of the PGA Tour. And I like winning, so there's no question we'll be trying to win when we're over there.
Fantastic. David, thank you for joining us as well. Y'all are hosting a NCAA regional next week. What are the benefits of playing in a regional at home and then getting an exemption for this year's UNCL championship?
Yeah, I think there's a ton of benefits to both. Starting with the regionals, though, I think playing at home is big for us because it means we don't have to travel anywhere. That's a big stressor for teams that go and have to travel to California or places like that. So not having to travel is big, and then having a regional on our home golf course is awesome. And then with the UNC Health Championship, it was an honor to receive the exemption for it. And I'm excited to get there to Raleigh. But I think more than anything, I'm just excited to see some of the people involved with the event. Coach Williams and Ryan Gerard, I think will be playing. So catching up with those people will be sweet. Something I'm looking forward to.
Will you do anything to prepare over the next couple of weeks for the championship?
I think just prepare how I always do. I think just try to get my game in a spot that feels tournament ready every day, and do that with consistent effort at the golf course. And our facility is looking great in Chapel Hill, and the fact that I don't have to travel too far for the UNC Health Championship is a blessing. So yeah, I think just prepare how I usually do. Treat it like any other tournament, and just get my game ready that way.
Fantastic. Ryan, you're a Raleigh native, former UNC golfer. Been playing on the Korn Ferry Tour for a little while now. How are things going this season, and what are some of the highs and lows you've seen?
Yeah, so far things are going pretty well. Feel like my game's kind of trending in the right direction. So seen some good results, seen a missed cut or two by one shot. So just trying to raise that floor and keep grinding, and can't wait to be in Raleigh here in a few weeks.
Is there anything you'll be doing to prepare over the next couple of weeks, looking ahead to the Raleigh Country Club?
Yeah, I think a lot of it just comes down to just the Donald Ross greens that we're going to be seeing at a couple of these courses coming up. Really fast, really fiery playing surfaces that have a lot of undulation. So really dialing in the putting and chipping. So making sure that when we get out there, we're not going to get exposed for all the fans.
One of the things I've loved the most over the past dozen years or so is when local players are playing, they usually get a pretty good entourage of family and friends. Are you expecting that when you're out here?
Hopefully. Yeah, no, I grew up in Raleigh. This has been a tournament that I went to when I was a little kid, 6, 7 years old. I remember walking around back when it was at a different golf course, watching guys. So it's cool to kind of see it come full circle and be able to play in it in my hometown. And I'm sure I'll have quite a few friends from middle school, high school, and college come out and support.
Fantastic. We'd like to open it up to the media for questions. You can either raise your hand or you can just jump right in. We'll keep it casual.
So, David, what did you learn from your experience playing at Bay Hill back in March? Now, and you also have an interesting dynamic, sort of. Then you had a college tournament right on the heels, and you have NCAAs right before this. So, how are you balancing all of that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just making sure I'm prepared before the event. I think at Bay Hill, I did a good job of my a few days before preparation. So my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looked really good at Bay Hill. And I did a great job working on my body, making sure my homework was done, getting my golf game to a spot. I feel like that was ready to compete. But the weeks before that, I had a lot going on with school and travel, and just didn't work hard enough in the areas I needed to with my game and my body. And it really showed, especially that second day at Bay Hill. So I think just taking the time to work on my game consistently and over a long period of time rather than just trying to practice a lot one day and then having to do 8 hours of homework one day. It's a huge balancing act for me this semester, but I think once school is over, it'll be really helpful. And then just making sure that my work each day on the golf course is consistent and it follows the same trend day by day.
Brian, have you had a chance before to play at Raleigh Country Club in a tournament, either in high school or growing up?
I've never played there in a tournament. I played it probably 5 or 6 years ago, before they redid the design. So I know they tweaked a few things, maybe made the third green slightly easier for some of us. So that'll be nice to see, but never in a tournament. So I'm excited to do so.
I got a question for Ryan as well. You're a young pro trying to make your way, on the tour and this kind of thing. With everything that's going on in professional golf right now, I mean, does it boggle the mind a little bit to try to think ahead of where all this is headed and maybe how hard it's going to be for access to young pros in the tournaments? Just so much unknown right now about pro golf.
Yeah, there's a ton of unknowns. The only thing that I can really do is play my best and kind of see where it stacks up and kind of go from there. Um, I've talked to a lot of people kind of in and around the situation, guys that are on the phone calls making the big decisions, but that's not me, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to be making those tough decisions right now, so I'm just going to keep trying to make some birdies, winning some golf tournaments, and if you keep playing well, they can't keep you out of where you want to be. So that's the attitude that I'm going with.
Roy, do you have a favorite Donald Ross course?
Oh man. Well, needless to say, Pinehurst #2, but Donald Ross also did Biltmore Forest up in the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina, my hometown. And so I love that place to say the least. But I love his design, except on days when you're not putting or not chipping well. You don't love them at that point, I can tell you that. Pinehurst #2 is really difficult. And if people of my ability, if you hit the ball 15 feet from the flag, it's a great shot. But there, if it's on the wrong side of the flag, for the wrong 15 feet away, now you're got a 60-foot shot next. But no, I just enjoy getting out and trying to hit a shot every now and then. It resembles a golfer. But I would like to ask Joe, you and Chip, because I've known you guys longer. David said something about 8 hours of homework. I would bet you two guys never did 8 hours of homework your entire college career, boy.
Do not make me make a joke, sir. Please.
Hey, Joe, he must know where we went to school, apparently.
Exactly. Commendable, coach. Commendable.
Thanks.
If Brian is still here, Brian, I was giving you a hard time last year. I thought the pros were going to chew this place up, but 14 under ended up winning it. Were you happy with how the course held up last year against these guys? 13 under, excuse me.
I remember that, and I think I'm on the record with saying that might have been a bit too far under par.
Yeah.
The course really held its own last year, and even though they had ball in hand and a bit softer conditions, only 13 under par one. The course this year is ahead of schedule. Looking out, it's green. It's at least a couple weeks ahead of where it was last year. So if it stays relatively firmer, it could play very, very challenging. These greens, like Coach mentioned at Pinehurst number 2, have some really severe fall-offs that cause professionals a lot of trouble if they're not really precise. So I think it's an exciting place to watch for that reason. There's a lot of false fronts, balls rolling off greens a lot more than other places. So I hope it stays a little firmer. The conditioning will be fantastic, and it should be exciting to watch them play at Holston Hills and come here a couple of Donald Ross courses back to back. But if it stays the way it is, I could see a winning score in the single digits.
And much like Coach, you don't take my advice. You're still finishing on 18, not 9, not going for the drivable finish.
Correct.
If I have a chance, guys, I'm going for it. 73 years old. I don't have any chances anymore.
There we go. See, I like 9. I like the finish on 9, but we're going 1 through 18, Brian.
We're going 1 through 18. The layout worked well last year. It's really nice for people to walk right from the bus drop 100 yards onto the course, not even, and be right in the middle of the back 9. I mentioned the 17th hole. That's a really exciting hole to sit on, literally right inside the main gate. An exciting part 3. So it really lays out well with some energy on the back 9. People that want to get out and watch golf on the front 9 is a bit further from the bus drop, but not far at all. So the 18th hole played really difficult last year, about a 500-yard par 4. So it's a challenging finish. The 9th hole will be exciting, maybe to make a move into the back 9, but we're keeping it like last year.
This Chip again. I got another question for Ryan. Wyndham Clark was in Pinehurst yesterday. He talked about, he played the Korn Ferry. He played in Raleigh. It was a struggle at times. It was hard to stay patient and stick with the process. Is that just the life of a young pro, and you have to learn how to deal with all that?
Yeah, a little bit. Wyndham's done a great job just kind of throughout his career, kind of sticking to his guns and playing his game. And I was playing practice round with him about a year and a half ago in the Dominican Republic, and now he's a major champion. So a lot of it is it can come at you real quick, and you got to be ready for whenever you get those opportunities to kind of pounce on them and go out there and win. So I think a lot of it is just sticking to what you know works and trusting yourself. And if you do that, you'll get as far as you're supposed to get. So a lot of it's just a lot of trust and working hard.
Hey, this is Todd Gibson with CBS 17. Coach, while we got you here, I know we're talking golf and everything and looking forward to covering the event. I just want to get your thoughts on the state of the college basketball right now with NIL and the players transferring left and right. Just did you retire at a good time, Coach, or how would you have approached what's going on right now in college basketball?
Well, it's much different. It had nothing to do with me retiring. I just didn't feel like I was doing it as well, and I had a really difficult time dealing with myself. I felt like I was cheating somebody, but I knew that NIL and the transfer portal were going to change college basketball. There's no way in the world I thought it was going to change as dramatically and as quickly. And some of it good and a lot of it not good right now. But, if you're teaching your child to ride a bike, you walk beside them and hold the bike, and then you get training wheels, and then you tell them to stay in the driveway, and then you release them. And we went from 0 to 1 million and there are no incremental steps. And I always think that is bad. I really do, because you can't change any mistakes. That old saying, you can't get that toothpaste back in the tube. And I think I'm all for doing more things for the student athletes. And I think we had gotten tremendously more student athlete friendly over the last 10 to 15 years than we had. But this one, these two changes here back to back has changed it dramatically. And I'm old school, and commitment and loyalty and those things always meant a great deal to me. And Rick Barnes told me, he said, I'm just coaching. I'm letting everybody else deal with that other stuff, and I'm just coaching. But my problem is I want to know what kind of score they got on their math test an hour before too. And so it's different. But when the game starts, when that referee steps in there and takes that ball and throws it up, and it's Duke, North Carolina, or Ohio State, Indiana, who it is, to those kids, and I'm 73, I can even call all you guys kids just about, but when the ball is thrown up in the air, it's still the best team that plays the best that night at that moment has a greater chance to win. And as a coach, that's what I always thought about, is getting my team to play and do the things that I wanted them to do better than the other coach got his team to do what they wanted to do. And so that's still coaching part. I would still love it. I would still try to do it again. And but it is different, and I'm not sure it's for the better either.
Hey, Roy, just to follow up on that right quick, one more basketball question. Do you see the ACC sticking together, or do you think it might splinter in the next few years?
Wow. So many things, Chip, has hadn't happened with college basketball and the conferences. No one saw this coming 10 years ago. And I mean, the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, I knew the guy that left Vegas to go be the commissioner of the Pac-10 or Pac-12. He was working in Vegas at MGM, and they were hosting a golf tournament I was playing in. And then all of a sudden, he's the commissioner. And the things that have happened in college basketball have done it so quickly, and we're all chasing the dollar. And that's the sad thing about it, is we're losing some value. But I still think we have a great deal of things that are going on that are really fun. But the conference alignment and realignment, it's a sad, sad world, because all those things are going to be decided in the courts. And that, to me, is a sad, sad state of college athletics.
Any other media questions? Ryan, I wanted to ask you, the tournament requires about more than 600 volunteers to be successful. How are we doing on volunteers? You still need more folks?
Yeah, thanks, Alan. It's a big effort. As the demands on tournaments grow and the technology, we need more and more people to help. This year we need over 650 volunteers, and we still need about 100 more. So as we get the word out, we appreciate you getting us the word out that we still do need volunteers. It's a great group. It's a lot of fun, whether you know golf or not. There's a lot of different jobs that people can do. You get a great Stitch shirt, a hat, tickets, meals when you're here. So it's really a lot of fun. And I mentioned Stitch. I do want to thank all of our sponsors, including Stitch. We've got a couple premier partners: First Citizens Bank, Brassfield and Gorey. The Hurricanes are a big partner, and Gregory Poole Equipment Company. But there's still opportunities for companies to get involved. We want to let the local community know that at a very reasonable comparison to some of the larger PGA Tour events. There's still sponsorship options, ticket packages, a couple pro-am teams left, maybe one or two. So it's not too late to still get involved and support the tournament.
Thank you all for joining us. Coach, thank you for your time. David, Ryan, best of luck to you as this tournament gets going. Anyone has any other follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out. We will send out a link to this briefing so that you'll have it. Thanks for helping us spread the word as we look to the end of May, and good weather and great tournament coming up.
Thank you very much, Ryan. David, good luck to you guys, and I will enjoy watching you guys, and enjoy following you all the time. So good luck to you guys, and everybody else. Thanks for putting up with this old fellow on the phone.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Coach.
See
Thanks,
you soon.
everyone.
See everybody later.